Welcome to the Post Workout Podcast. Today we've got Leon Young on. Leon, you're a boxing coach and you're a boxer yourself. Recently just winning your first belt, first of many.
Yes, sir.
You like a bit of travelling, bit of adventure?
I do enjoy a bit of travel.
You've got your own van, fully kitted out for the travels. And recently, in the last couple of years, you've went through probably the hardest thing for a young man to go through in losing your father.
Yeah, I would have to agree. In my experience,
all this is stuff that I'm looking forward to actually speaking to you about.
Absolutely.
And hopefully people can take value from it.
Absolutely, that's the plan, man. That's the plan.
We'll get started on the podcast in just a moment, but before we start, I would like to give a massive shout out to Chat and Chill Cafe in Lisburn. First of all, for the use of their facilities to record the podcast, and second of all, for their amazing coffee and service. I mean it when I say it that this is by far the nicest coffee shop in Lisburn, and you will experience why the second you walk through the door. The people that you'll meet in here are absolutely amazing, and the service is next level. They've recently been awarded the Best Independent Coffee Shop in Northern Ireland 2023, and to say it's deserved would be an understatement. Be sure to check them out. Now onto the podcast. So, early life, tell me what a young Leon was like.
Very different, I'll say that much. Football crazy, mate. Absolutely football in the head. Like that was all I done from a young age. United mad, whole family. No choice. To be honest, I wouldn't have it any other way looking back, but I mean, I'd literally
would have served you well in your young years, like.
Yeah, it was literally just United, and that was it. And just football, mate. Started football when early. Like, I feel like every kid in this country sort of gets thrown into football. In the UK,
it's just the go-to sport, like, isn't it?
You just get thrown into football, don't you? And I love football. I was football in the head, and then basically primary school, normal kid playing football, pretty good at sport, and that was pretty much where it stopped in terms of education and all that. Sport was my main thing, and that was it really, mate. Just football. Literally, that my whole childhood was football, mate. Mum and dad driving me the whole way across the country. Like I played when I was younger. I played quite a high level football. I played for Linfield, I think under 8s to maybe under 12. So it was like it was a good level, but it was National League football. So it was a lot for my parents, which looking back,
it's a lot of travel.
It was a lot of travel, which looking back,
it gets you playing against the best players in the country at the end of the day.
It does, and I feel like I benefited from even now what I'm doing now in any competitive sort of sport. I feel like
exactly because the way that people are brought up, especially the way I was brought up. I mean, I didn't play for good football teams when I was young. And it took me to get older to get that competitiveness. Whereas like it's just drilled in. Like there's no losing at that level.
From the coaches down, like I mean, my dad was as stern as they come, but I mean, even the coaches at Linfield, it was like you're 8 year old and you're getting grilled 3 times a week. If you lose on a Saturday, you're getting grilled in the shane room. So it was always like just competitive sport overruled really my whole childhood, and running about, knocking about, being I can swear on this podcast, being a wee dick in the streets, basically. to cut a long story short, you know, running about, getting up to no good, and playing a bit of football. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. You know, it's very similar to yourself.
And then what about school? So you went into high school. A lot of your mates, I notice now, are all from school. Which is pretty class to see. It's good to see like a close group like that.
I suppose I've never really thought of that, but that's very true.
Because it's less common than you think. But like you met those boys at a young age, and you have managed
that's a very fair point. Like I've been most of my mates. I mean, I don't think I have a mate that I've really known less than 10 years. You know, all my close friends that I've known from we're nippers, like, you know, running about being wee dicks. As I said, that's them guys.
Dream scenario though, like that is a group of friends. Like it's not a group of mates, it's a group of friends.
It really is. It really is. And of course, as you grow up, the fall off. You know, I mean, in high school, first, second, third year, 30-40 of us running about. You know, and now you sort of narrow it down to 3 or 4.
Probably a few of them you don't even know what country they're in.
Really, true, mate. There's few of them I could not locate them at all, but the ones I have are good ones, and that's the main thing. High school went to Laura Hill. Again, mate, just football. That's
that's what I was gonna say. Laura Hill would have been good for football as well. That's one thing I missed because I went to Wallace, so we didn't even have school football. But no, you did have a good team.
With a good team, but it was like Mate, it was like that England team, you know.
Yeah,
it was like man for man. Oh, that's some team. When it comes to playing football, we did not get results, mate. Like, our claim to fame was, I think, in third year. Like, we beat LaSalle, mate, and you'd have thought we won the Champions League. I swear to God, I scored a goal, and it was. At the time, it was life changing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something so silly. Like, but we never actually won anything or nothing. Believe it or not, like that was like there was. If Alex Moore, he's playing ridiculously high level football still.
Is he at Dungannon now? Or? Because I know he was at Linfield. I think he went to Dungannon.
Him and Ethan both are playing for Dungannon. Is it Dungannon?
Or Ethan's at Ards.
That's where Alex is too.
Is it?
I believe they're both at the same place. But I mean, that was man for man. It was a really high level team. But
yeah,
I blame the coaches. You know,
yeah.
wasn't well.
It's always the manager's fault. Like.
Nothing to do with us.
But that's pretty good going. Like, because even at I didn't have school football, and then we went to Tech.
Gee, man, I don't.
And our Tech team was good. Like,
our Tech
it
team
was
solid.
business.
Yeah, it was. We played on the same team in Tech.
Yeah. For my first year in the team, was that we got the cup final that year
and completely blew up.
Yep.
In the cup final.
Yeah.
Completely blew up.
What was it? They were down 10 men. We still battled it.
Mate, completely battled it.
Complete battle job.
Roasting on the way home that day. My dad, let me tell you, that was a bad day to be me.
Brutal. Like, that's brutal.
We played so well up there. Thrashed everybody. Mate, it was solitude to think that we played semis, was it?
I remember Ronan. I'm pretty sure it was this year. And it was like the first game of the year. Like, we weren't in any leagues or anything, but we just entered the cup.
Yeah,
and then if you could put it in the cup, you could put it in the shield.
That's right.
And I remember, I think we were playing Portadown College, and they had some boys who were playing for Glenavon all the time. Like, they were a good team.
Yeah.
And we were playing in Walls Park. I think we were 1-0 up at half time. Or it might have been 1-1. And he just sat us down. He's like, right, lads, use your heads here. You know, if we win, we go into the cup. If we lose, we go into the shield. What do you think? Give a better chance of winning.
Whip the best players off.
Went out and got beat.
Yeah, I mean, that's
beat 3-2. But I think it was worth it, to be fair.
It's a tactic as old as time. Let's get put out of the cup into the shield.
Yeah. And I've got that photo in my room of us.
The old black and
wee
white
team
stripes.
photo. Yeah. Or one of them anyway. It's one of the games up to the final. I don't think I actually have a photo from the final, but yeah, there's definitely a photo. I think it's at Mollusk.
Yeah,
and all the boys were there.
Tech was good days, and I must say I really enjoyed Tech again. I think that's just going back to sport, because Tech was just all about sport. It was like school. I was like, oh, happy days, PE.
Yeah.
Fuck maths after.
Yeah.
English after that. Double RE after that. You're like, this is a brutal day. Whereas Tech, you went in 2 hours of sport, 3 hour break, another hour of sport, home, 60 quid at the end of the week. What a result! What a life! Like,
no, Tech was the life.
That was the dream.
I see in school, I just nothing could have got me interested. Nothing. Like, no matter how many times I got told off, no matter how many detentions I got. Like Monday to Friday, I was block booked. There was teachers trying to book me in the detention, and I was block booked. I was like, oh, I'm already in on Thursday. And they just gave up on stage. But nothing could have got me interested. It took me to leave school. And then I haven't done a year of IT in Tech, and I was like, nah, that's not for me. And then I finally went to sport, and it's like, right,
sport was good, man.
No, it's clicked.
Sport, and Ronan and Alan,
and the teachers, the teachers make such a big influence.
Like, where Ronan and Alan were, and they treated you like a human. You know, whereas in school you were treated like, even if you were looking back 5th year, you're still a kid. You're 15, 16, but I mean, they really belittled you. I felt, whereas you went to Tech, and it was like, to talk to you like a friend. You know, it was more genuine.
And it's because you have a bit of power. Like, if you didn't want to be there, you could leave.
Absolutely.
I think that does play a bit of a role, but no, they were brilliant. Like, I remember, I think there was a day we only had Alan. It was like a Wednesday or something, and we had tutorial first thing.
I completely forgot.
You sit there doing football quizzes or something.
Playing 5-a-side or something.
A 2-hour break. And then we're with Alan for practical the rest of the day. So 2-hour break. He had a break as well. And we just went to Spoons. We had the local Spoons. Got a few pints, and then went into the sports hall after. And just
Tacking a nutshell.
Yeah, mate,
it was a gift. Look, those were good times. And
it was pretty
I really
class,
enjoyed Tacking it, I must admit. And I must say, like, for all the fun it was and how sort of blasé and a bit piss-takey at times it was, like, I thought it was beneficial. Like,
100%.
A lot of things I learned about coaching, even I'm still using now. Alan taught me in Tech, you know what I mean? Like, sports coaching modules. They got in coaches from like outside. Like, funnily enough, I actually done a Gaelic coaching badge of all things. Like,
I remember they were doing them. I'm trying to think what it was when I was there. But there were coaching qualifications. I think it was grassroots. I think the place were like a grassroots football.
They brought a Gaelic guy in, and like, I'd never done any Gaelic
Here's fun.
Mate,
it's a fun sport to play.
I'm 6 years engaged to a Catholic, obviously, and like I can talk Gaelic with her. You know, that's something I would never have been able to do. But and like she laughs at me. She's like, "You have a coaching badge. You grew up in Balmackay. You have a coaching badge." I'm like, "Yep, I do." Like,
I think it's a fun sport.
Mate,
Like, it's just different.
I think it's great.
It's
Absolutely,
different. Yeah.
absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
And football's where I kind of first got to know you, kind of.
Yeah,
Like, I didn't really know you, but we knew of each other.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, it's like when you're playing Lisburn League, you almost know everyone you're playing against. But I was Lisburn Rangers, you were Lisburn Distillery,
That's
and
right.
that was a wee rivalry. And it was,
What a team that
everyone knew
Distillery team
everyone.
was. By the way, that Distillery team
he's very good.
cleaned up,
He's
mate.
very
2
good.
seasons straight. That's for me, that's the peak of my football. Over Linfield, everything.
Yeah.
That was when I enjoyed.
Because you're a team of your mates as well.
Yeah,
know
and
what
my
I mean?
dad coached us. That was awesome for me.
Yeah.
Like he
I think
coached-
I actually spoke to your dad once.
Yeah.
Like I didn't. I was thinking. I was like, I've never actually spoke to him. But then I remembered he did come up to me at the end of the game.
100%.
And he was like, he's kind of like, why are you playing with these? That's
That's
a compliment. Like,
he was a poacher, mate. He tried to
I
sign.
think that was the game you beat us. I think it was 3-2 at Barbers. You scored a peach that game.
Christian got sent off first 5 minutes.
I think so. Yeah. I remember you scored a peach top corner, and then I got a free kick in. And there's a photo of that free kick. Remember
I'm
my
on the
cover
wall.
photo? Yeah.
Me, Bell, and
Yes,
somebody
yes,
else in the wall.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah,
There, no, you are joking.
Look at that there.
There it is. Matty Fagan rank.
And I'm not saying anything, but you look scared in that one.
The balls are covered, that's for sure. But that looks like a cold day, and I have the leggings on.
It's a wet one,
I have the
like,
leggings on, that says it all. So, yeah, you don't want to be catching a stinger. I'd rather take a punch to the chin still to this day than catch a stinger on the thigh, mate, on a cold day in the Lisburn League.
It was out Jimmy. I'll just make sure that one of them can get that. And zoom it in.
That's an iconic pick, that.
Yeah.
That is like.
And who is in the wall? So it's you, Bell's there, Fagan.
Matty Fagan and Ryan Kidd. He was a great player, mate.
Was it? I thought that was Stephen Kane.
Let me see again.
I could be wrong.
No, Ryan Kidd.
Is it?
100%.
Yeah.
He was a forward and he was real tricky. He was very, very good. Treat to play with. I played centre midfield and he was just sort of ahead of me, and he was just
making good
he had
runs
that
all the time.
eye,
Yeah, yeah.
like I felt like he's that guy, you put the ball in the space, he got on the
Yeah, just someone you can link up with. Yeah, I value that so much.
He was great to link up with as a centre midfielder. You play centre midfield yourself,
Yeah, I'm like number 10. So see a good striker who's good with feet.
That's what I played, number 10.
That's what I
it's the dream.
thrive off. Like,
it is the dream.
Someone that you can just link up with telepathically.
Makes
you know
life a lot easier.
Yeah, it
doesn't
makes good runs.
100%.
I think that's one thing that's so important.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think I mentioned it, and then we only touched base with each other is whenever you were doing your PT course.
Yeah,
you were looking for a PT course, and I just commented, and I was like, aye. And then
right. You were pretty you were very helpful actually throughout that, I must say.
And then all of a sudden you're doing the coaching. I had literally just so whenever I started the boxing, it was kind of like a January thing. I was like, right, I'm making a change. I'm 92 kilo here. I'm a heavy boy,
Well, it's
and
worked.
I'm not enjoying it.
It's worked, mate. You've very slimmed down.
I started because I was in the yard at the time. That bags. I was going in doing my own thing. I was like, I'm learning nothing here, and I'm doing 3 rounds and going home because I'm bored.
Mate, absolutely.
And then that's when I texted you about Lisburn Boxing Club.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Is that where you started?
Believe it or not, I actually started at going way back to when I first started boxing.
What age is that?
About 9 or 10.
Yeah.
But I went in. I was there maybe a month or two, and the coach threw me in sparring. And obviously in school, like I thought it was the man law, I thought it was a tough guy, mate, and got in sparring and got a punch in the nose, and my nose started bleeding, mate, and you'd have thought my arm fell off. I thought it was over. I thought this was the worst injury you could get. I was like, that's me done with a boxing. Well, back to my mum and dad and says, that's me done with a boxing. And my dad, he was, I remember him saying like, you see, it's all fun and games doing the punching, son, but when you get hit, that's the tricky part. And I still say that to my clients to this day, It's all well and good being able to throw a punch, but until you get hit, you get hit a clean one, and that was 9, so it couldn't have really been that hard. It would have been with another 9-year-old. But I mean, at the time, it was enough to scare me off, and then it was just back to football.
Yeah,
basically.
And where was it? You went?
That was Lisburn.
Was it Lisburn?
And then when I wanted to start taking it seriously, I went to Canal, and I went there for 2 weeks, and I mean, I didn't feel like I was getting anywhere with it. I felt like it was getting thrown on a heavy bag, and just everybody's been to a club like that, there's plenty of them about. You feel like you get thrown on a heavy bag and sort of forgot about, And for me, I was like, no, I really do want to do well in this. I'm not that guy that's just going to come in and leave in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Unless I get punched in the nose. But no, at this stage, I'd committed. You know, I'd left football and stuff. It was actually after that that season, the end of that season, we had won the league, and pretty much I got like a really silly amount of bookings that season. Like just for like I was being petty. I was more interested in the drama on the pitch and hitting people hard tackles and actually playing football. And with my dad being a manager, he's like, Leon, you need to really stop this. You know, you're killing us here. I was suspended maybe 6 games of the season, and then I got a straight red and got another 3-game ban. That was just like, he was like, Leon, I think you need to take up something a bit more physical. You know, because football, because at the time, mate, football was, I feel, getting softer as well. Like tackles you'd have got away with 2 years ago, you were getting called up and booked on. You're like, whoa, what, you know what? Since when was this a bad tackle? You know. Yeah. So then I thought, well, boxing, we'll try that out again. And mate, since I started that again, I've never looked back. See, to be honest, since I put a glove on the first time, I've actually completely forgot how to kick a ball. Like, you wouldn't want to see me with a football now, mate. I'm not joking. I tried to go back as an adult when I was about 18.
You went to FC United then?
I went to them both. I was useless for them both. Really? Completely useless. And then that was it. That was curtains for the football.
I think you feel like that though. I'd say if I asked a few of the boys at the Rangers what you were like when you went back, they were like, oh, I know he's a good player. But mate, I know you're your own worst enemy, and I'm the exact same, mate. Yeah, mate. Because I went back to football, I was like I left Hillsborough and all because I was like, nah, I don't want to hold you back. Realistically, I was probably
you were all right.
Like,
you're
you know
better
what I mean?
than you thought. No, I know what you're saying, but I just felt because, as I said, sort of my whole younger life, I was playing at a high level, and that sort of held myself to that level. And to me, it was letting myself down more than anything. I was like, Leon, this is dead in the water a bit. You know, what are you trying to achieve with this? And I wasn't enjoying it. The dream of going pro was dead at that stage. I was 18 and it was not.
I think that's a tough age to be playing football. Like, see, as soon as junior football finishes,
I'd agree.
Because junior football, at least you know everyone in your league. You know, you're still going into school.
Yeah.
After the weekend results, and there's a bit of slagging, a bit of back and forth.
It's a very social thing at that age.
And then all of a sudden, everyone's splitting in. Like, you go into like under 19s, and there's maybe like 2 Lisburn teams that have an under 19s. Everyone else is splitting off and going men's football. Yeah, and everyone starts to depart. And it's a weird old age to be playing football. Like,
it is. You're 18. You're playing against a 50-year-old man who's an absolute veteran of the league. One touch, he takes it 2 yards round you and plays you just feel. Me, honestly, at 18, I felt so out of my depth. I was like, I've never known football to be this hard. Like, to me, it was a different sport at that stage. Like, it was levels. It's like every sport, there's levels to it. 100%. And as you go up to that senior level, I feel like I sort of I peaked at 12. You know? I peaked at 12. From there, it was over, mate. So I was the end of that.
I remember because I went up to Lower Mays and I was playing men's football, and then I was coming and playing with the tech team. And then whenever I played my own age group, I was like, this is class. You know, and I was acting the big lads, like I was emptying boys. On a Saturday of the men's football, I was like, I would never do that. Like,
it's a different guy playing that day. Like,
mate.
I enjoyed the tack football, but again, that's going back to you're playing against people your own age. You're sort of comfortable there.
If I have one regret, it's probably not staying like, you know, under 19s, even under 20s leagues. Yeah. For longer.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Yeah, that leap to adult football is a big leap. Yeah, it really is. Can take the enjoyment out of the game for a lot of people. I feel a lot of people were very
dropping on my mic.
A lot of people I feel were very good as kids, and they went to adult football and just disappeared. But then again, you say they went to adult football and disappeared, but what were they doing off the pitch? Partying, drinking. You know, that's the thing. That plays into it too. The commitment goes downhill, and you know it all plays into it. Realistically, doesn't it? Like,
I think I've taken 2 breaks from football. One was when I was at Lower Mays. New manager came in, just didn't like him at all. He just had it in for me. I was like, right, just lost my enjoyment. Yeah. And then I was like, well, you know what? I'll go and play with the seconds. And then that was it. It was like surrounded by people who were out the night before, blocked, and it was, you know, there was a seconds game I played last season, just for the sake. I don't think the first had a game, so I went down and played for the seconds. It's a different club. And I walked in with a sausage supper hanging out of his arse, and he's literally in the changing room with a sausage supper. I was like, wow, this is the pinnacle of football.
Kind of guy, like, we've all met them.
Oh Jesus, nah, it's a different level. Like,
it is, mate. It certainly is.
And then that was That was under 16s.
That was maybe 2015, I'd say. 2015, yeah, because I started boxing seriously at, I think, just before I turned 15. So that would have been, sort of the tail end of that season, yeah.
And did you go cold turkey from one straight into the other?
Straight in.
Or were you kind of doing a wee bit of boxing training while you were at football?
See, I started, my dad threw me into jiu-jitsu at like 7, and I done that, and like I got my brown belt, but I mean, like, in the jiu-jitsu we were doing like a brown belt's nothing to brag about, you know, like a Brazilian jiu-jitsu brown belt is like something that takes almost a lifetime to achieve, you know, but like this, it was called world jiu-jitsu, mate. It was like a self-defense class. I think everybody's done like a wee bit of it.
Yeah, mate, that's literally
I'm sure you've done a bit of it.
I was no age, and I couldn't get into it. Like,
mate,
I couldn't get into it.
I couldn't get into
these things, and I was like,
but dad would let me.
I wasn't allowed until I got to a certain belt, and then I got like 5 or 6 belts. But if you ask me a single thing from it, I don't remember.
Yeah,
because I wasn't interested.
Yeah, absolutely. I was the same as me. I was like, mate, it's really just a self-defense class, you know. And silly stuff is like,
I realize if someone's swinging a punch at you,
if someone pulls a gun, you push this nerve and they drop it. You're like, no, don't
flip them over your shoulder. It's like, aye, good luck.
do a roll under their legs and choke them out, and you're like, that's not the real world, you know.
Anyone coming at you with aggression, all that doesn't.
Mate, it doesn't work. Like. It's nonsense. And I got this certain age. At the start, I thought I was the Karate Kid, and then like.
That's what I was about to say. Unless you're Bruce Lee, that's
Kung Fu again. Different martial art, you know. Kung Fu is effective, but that jiu-jitsu was just like a big clusterfuck of martial arts thrown into one with a sensei, as they called it, who didn't know what they were teaching. It was just nonsense, mate. Like, but to be fair, now in its defence, I do think it helped my transition to boxing, because at the end of the day, whether it was being taught right or not, I was throwing punches from 7, you know, jab, cross, hook, simple punches, you know, 7 till I was 13, you know, so there's no way it didn't carry over and do something. But in terms of the self-defense side of it, and doing that as a martial art on its own, I personally think it's a load of nonsense, you know. But I do think it probably held me in good stead for crossing over to the boxing. It's combat sport, sort of.
It's,
you know,
dipping into it.
That's a fair way to put it.
And then with your boxing career, so that was the start of it, really? That was the
start of it, but just before I turned 15, I think, around about that.
And then what about, what's your record, do you know?
I don't know my record. I know I've been beat 3 times. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, they're the ones you remember.
All in finals.
Really?
I've never been beat outside of a final, and they all hurt a lot.
Yeah.
But maybe counting all, like, amateur, my title fight there a couple of weeks ago and stuff, like, I would guess maybe 14-3, somewhere around the...
Not bad.
Around the 20 fights ball mark. To be honest, I was never as active as I wanted to be. Like, it was...
Like, so if you're training through a club, it's all club shows and...
It is. At a lot of club shows and exhibitions and stuff, but again, they don't go on your record. When I'm talking, you know, 14-3, roughly, maybe, could be 13. That's, you know, fights on your card, as I say, amateur boxing, you know, it goes on your card, and it's, you know, Antrims, Ulsters, Belfast Opens, Downs, that sort of thing, you know, that all goes on your card, so that's what they would officially count as your record, you know, but I've had a handful of exhibitions as well, you know. But in terms of starting, I'll backtrack a bit. I went to Canal, didn't feel like I was getting anywhere, so I went up to Lisburn. And Lisburn, I mean, I couldn't sing Lisburn Boxing Club's praises high enough. As you know, when you asked me where to go, I said Lisburn. You know, it's a great club. You get out what you put in there, and that's the way I think any competitive sport should be. If you're willing to put in the effort, the coach will put the effort into you, and I was willing to put in the effort. So I built a really good relationship with my coach, and he got me fights, and that's really it. You know,
because I can relate that. Like, even from the minute I went in, I was just honest with him. I was like, just treat me, just teach me. Like,
that's what,
and I'm going in there, and everyone's like, oh, big lad, and all. Like, I remember the oldest one, I think he was 14 or 15, and the rest of them were younger. And I'm just sitting there in the change room. It's like, when's someone I know going to walk in here? Like,
that's why I left in the end, you know, because it got to a stage. We had a really good sparring group there. I mean, there was 4 or 5 of us, and it was sort of 60 to 75 kg mark, and everybody was sort of competing in the Antrims, Ulsters, and sort of working to get to a high level, you know. And
good group to be a part of.
And then they just, one by one, just dropped away. And then before I knew it, I was sparring really the coach only. Like, that was my main sparring partner, and like, I mean, that's all well and good.
It's hard to stick at it. Like.
He was getting there was people coming in from other clubs and stuff, which was excellent. But I mean, I feel like you need sort of a consistent training partner to work with, and it's not even just when it comes to sparring. When it's partner up, we're doing drills.
Yeah,
and you're there with someone 55 kilo, and you're sitting at 70 yourself. You know, it's not really beneficial when it comes to competing. You know, you're not getting that similarity in the gym.
See that hoodie over there?
What was that? Your
I just caught my eyes. For anyone listening, I don't even know how you explain that. We're sitting here, we are having a conversation, but a drop of hoodie just walked past the window. So
you'll be all over Europe soon.
That's pretty class. I have no idea who that was either.
To be fair, just standing up the street and one
no idea who it was. That's the best bit. It was like the first time I seen someone I didn't know wearing it. I was like, that's going well.
That's nice. Well. That's how you know you're moving up in the world.
But I can relate exactly to that actually, because whenever I went down to Lisburn, the oldest one was like 14, 15, and I'm like complete beginner.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know anything. I haven't done any of these drills that they're doing. And there's like 14-year-olds saying, here mate, do this. And I was like, oh jeez.
It's humbling.
But that's what I wanted, to be fair, because I wanted to be a beginner.
Yeah.
That's what I was craving. Because like in the gym, I was just like going through the motions. I was like, I know this, I know that. I just don't have the oomph to do it.
Yeah.
And everyone's still coming to me for advice, and I was just like, no, I want to take myself out of that environment and learn.
100%, yeah, be back to square one almost.
That was exactly what it was good for. Like, because even when I felt like I was doing something right, one of the coaches would come around and be like, oh yeah, do this instead. I was like, but I like that. Like, I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But I'd say it was starting to become difficult for me to go, because the social aspect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It does keep you there.
Helps, mate. That helps. There's no doubt in it.
And then one by one, I got Austin down, and I got Johnny down, because Johnny was getting into it as well. We both started at the same time.
Yeah.
And then he was getting into it, so he's come down. He really liked it as well, but then him coming to Lisburn and all.
Yeah.
Then
you came down for a couple of sessions. Yeah. And then I was like, happy days. There's 2 spars. Come back the next day, and because we're never to be seen again. 2 months of staying, and I was like, what? I thought of a wee sparring group there.
Yeah, I know.
No such luck. You were snowed under with work, I believe.
It was whenever the yard closed.
Yeah.
So like right. I was all there. I was there Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 times a week religiously, and I was like, I'm getting so much fitter. All these 2-hour sessions.
Yeah, it's beneficial. There's no argument there.
The fitness was the main thing I was getting into it for. Learn and to get fit. And then the yard closed overnight, so I had to go. Got a new gym, and then my classes were Monday and Wednesday evenings. So I was like, right, great.
That's right. That's that shot. Yeah, 100%.
But yeah,
great club,
it is
though,
proper good. Yeah,
very good club, very well run, good people, and they're bringing amazing fighters through now. But just it's more for, you know, if you're a teenager, that's the place for you.
Yeah.
If you're an adult, maybe not so much.
Yeah. And even if you're a fighter, it seems like, well, if you're a fighter like our age, and you want a club, then probably Canal in Lisburn,
probably,
because they focus on fighters. From what I hear,
they would have, in terms of.
It's like, as you said, you got thrown in a bag. But if you had
that was a long time ago.
I want to fight in a couple of months. Yeah, you don't know what it's like now.
Oh, they got me a fight. Even I actually went back just for the social aspect. This was maybe 4 years ago. But boxing's one of them things I just can't get away from. And not that I want to get away from it. I love it. It is my passion, and that's only really in the last few years I've really realised that this keeps bringing me back in, because it's the thing I love. It's just what I love to do, you know. But even I went back to Canal there because a couple of friends were there and stuff, and we were training. They were asking me, do I want to fight and stuff, and I was like, yeah, and then one thing led to another, and it just never really materialised, and I fell away again, and then I started training in another place, but it's just been the one sort of thing that's just always returned, even through injuries, through whatever. I've always gravitated back to it for whatever reason.
And that is interesting, because you went to MMA.
I did, yeah. I went to MMA. MMA was sort of it was a completely different motivation as to why I started the MMA than the boxing. So when I started the MMA, it was when my dad was ill. So he was basically diagnosed with terminal cancer, and then my granny, she was actually diagnosed with terminal cancer the day after. So he was told he'd 6 months. My granny was told I think it was 6 days. 2 days later, she'd passed, and then the rest of it, that was just a hectic 6 months, as you can imagine, you know.
Yeah.
So that was, for me, that was like an escape. I was in the house, and I was looking after my dad and looking after my mom, doing what you have to do. And MMA was that 2 hours of the day where I could just forget about it. It was great, mate.
You do zone out as well. Mate, it's like, even if you went to the gym to do weights,
absolutely,
you still got your thoughts. Whereas on that, it's just complete.
Yeah, when you're sitting, you're doing your set, it's all good. The minute you sit the rest, here they come, rushing in, you know. But MMA, it was like Jui Jitsu, grappling was a big thing for me. MMA was really good. I really, really enjoyed it. Like, I really did. I'd done it for, I think, just short of 3 years. I only got the one fight, which I'm quite disappointed about. I would have liked to have competed more. I got the win, which I'm happy with, but looking back now, my head wasn't in the right place. You know, I was doing that for the wrong reasons. The way I was actually talking to my uncle the other day, and the way I put it down was like, I was running away from something, like, instead of running towards something. You know, now in boxing, I have a goal. I want to do well, I want my fighters to do well, I want to win belts myself, like, so I'm pushing towards that goal, whereas MMA was more, I was running away from something else, you know. So my head wasn't really in that space where I was like, I did love MMA, but it was more, I loved the escape from everything else, you know, that way. It's
a very interesting way of putting it.
Yeah, it made it, it's the only way I could put it, because it really was. It was just an escape, but I did fall in love with it. Absolutely, I did. But I was grappling one day and got, like, I'm not sure you're familiar with it, a heel hook. It's called. It's pretty nasty submission. You tuck someone's foot under your armpit, basically, grip under their heel and palm to palm and twist. So it affects your knee joint. And I got one pretty hard one day. My knee just went, and it was painful, really painful. So I went to physio, numerous physios, so many physios actually, and I got diagnosed then with patella maltracking, it was called. And basically, still to this day, when I bend my knee, your knee's on like a rail, and my knee comes off the track, was the way he put it to me. So when I'm bending my knee, it's good in a straight line, it'll stay good that way. But when I bend it, for example, in jiu-jitsu or grappling, to put like a body triangle or a triangle choke, when I turn my leg in an angle and cinch it up, it locks. And then that's just shit. It's non-negotiable, you know. It's no good. You just can't do it, you know. And that on top of a few other things. So right after my fight, I took another fight. I was like, right, that's it. Let's get this show on the road. I'm going to be really active. And when I took the fight right after, so I'd done an 8-week camp for the fight prior, and I was like, nothing else mattered to me but this fight camp. I'm very like that when I'm in camp. I'm a bit obsessive. Like, I'll be, like, I suppose you could call it selfish, but it's
you have to be.
You do have to be. But at the time of my life I was in, selfish wasn't an option. I had my mum there, my wee brother, like, so many other people. Like, I'd had a great support network myself and my family. You know, it wasn't all me. You know, but like, I just felt like everybody was sort of sticking together, and I was off doing my own wee thing, being selfish, and I was like, no. So I pulled out of that second fight, and truthfully, after pulling out of that second fight, I don't think the passion ever really came back for MMA. I don't think it did. And then I got, a couple of weeks after pulling out, I got staph infection in my foot, and my goodness, my big toe was just a hole right in it. Like, it was the most painful thing I have endured in my life. It must have been maybe from the mats. Somebody else brought it up to the club, and I'd caught it, and like, this was a nasty thing. I was in hospital every day on antibiotic drip and the painkiller drip, because the pain was so bad and they needed to get this infection at bay. Basically, my knee just popped there. Did you hear that? And
the mic to it.
It'll work every time too. And that was brutal, and that kept me out of MMA for 6 weeks. And then it was just, I just never really, and I was training the Fight Academy, where it's the kind of place, if you're not there, you get left behind. And I don't mean by the coaches. Like, the coaches couldn't have been better to me, so understanding about the injury, about the mental health, about my situation. They were excellent about it. Like, I couldn't praise them enough. But I went back, and like, I was losing spars that I once comfortably, not that you don't win and lose spars, but deep down, you know that guy's better than me there. He's better than me, and I was better than him 6 weeks ago, and I've been sitting on the sofa. Everybody else has been leveling up, and the passion just never returned me. And it was a real shame, because I did love MMA. And then after that, I just took it, to be honest, at that stage, I would say I don't want to get too deep on you, but like at that stage, my mental health probably took a dip, especially with staff being stuck doing nothing because it was the training keeping me going. So I was stuck.
So your escape was gone.
My escape was gone. I was lying on the sofa in pain. I couldn't leave the house. Like, it was just a terrible time for me, and I made it spiral. To be honest, it wasn't good for a while. So I done nothing for a while. Not a whole lot of anything, to be honest, apart from go to work. And then that's when I then started doing the PT course. I thought, right, something has to change here. I got back boxing, but I wasn't at a club. I was doing it in my own time. I was going to the gym, doing, putting together my own sessions, and then that's pretty much what made me realise I could coach this. I think I'm more than capable, and that's what made me realise. And then when I eventually got back to the boxing, I was sort of the passion re-sparked. Then I realised this is what's been missing. This is why I've been sparring. To be honest, it could have very well been the same if I went back to MMA after. But it just so happened I chose boxing for whatever reason. It's all, as I say, I always gravitate back to the boxing, and that was it, mate. The passion was just re-sparked then, and it was just all guns blazing.
Class.
Basically, mate.
And that brings us.
That pretty much brings us.
That's mad, like.
That's pretty much.
That was the time.
That pretty much covers it all, mate.
Mad.
Yeah, it was a bit of a roller coaster for, I'd say, 3 or 4 years, mate. But I'm out the other end now, and I must say I'm feeling fucking great for it. I really am, mate. I've never been happier, to be honest, mate. In terms of work life and.
No, you're in a good spot. A quick shout out to one of our sponsors of the podcast, Drop It. Drop It are a clothing brand promoting mental health awareness through comfortable, fashionable and affordable clothes. Drop the stigma, drop the barriers, drop the ego, speak up. The brand have done a few different drops now with different styles, so if you like oversized fitting or regular fitting clothing, they've got you covered. And they've recently just released their sports clothing, which includes quarter zips, training t-shirts, vests, caps and more. So be sure to check them out. You can find them over on Instagram at dropit_speakup. And the link to their website is in their bio from there. Back to the podcast.
Work-life
that actually
balance.
brings you to the fact that you have just quit your job.
Literally.
like a couple of days ago.
Yesterday. I was coaching in the schools for 2 years, to be honest. And I loved it. I loved it at the start, but it was always... I know you worked in the schools yourself. Are you still working in the schools?
Yeah,
you're still working there? We'll not get too much into it.
No, I know what you mean.
But like I was always told things was going to change and whatnot, and I just felt like it wasn't working for me. So, and I was looking, and I was doing, as you know, it's 2 hours work a day. And I was like,
it fills the midday. It works for me perfect because I coach in the mornings, I coach in the evenings. It works. So it kind of fills that midday.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely, that's what it was for me. It was working for me really well, and then it got to the stage where I was turning clients away. And I was stewed getting abuse off 6-year-olds. I was like literally getting told to fuck off by 6-year-olds. And I'm like, mate, what am I doing here? I could take 2 clients in this space of time.
Yeah. It's even the principle of it. Like, at the end of the day, you're working for somebody else. You're helping grow somebody else's business.
That's what hurt me.
Rather than your own.
Absolutely.
You got to be selfish.
I felt like it was sort of 90-10, 10% dedicated to my work in the schools, but 90% to my own business. All my spare time is going into my own business. But then I was just thinking, why am I not putting 100% into my own business? Why am I working for someone else for the same wage I'm making anyway? And I'm not enjoying it. I was actually finding myself, I just took a client, say 12:30, finished him up 1:30 to get into work for 2, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like,
and it does, you get through those phases. I suppose it depends what school you're in and like what group you're with. Like sometimes I tend to find the younger groups are a gift. And then the older ones where they start to get a wee bit cheeky.
They do indeed.
Like, it's alright, I don't dread going to school because I've got the younger ones first. So I was like, right, I'll have a bit of crack. And then I just, like 15 minutes before that session is, I was like, oh, the older ones are coming.
Here they come. Just hear the foot stomps.
And then you do get the spell. I don't know if it gets to a certain stage in the term. Because like, I don't know if you're the same as us. We go like 10-week blocks. So it's like a term. Roughly 10 weeks
terms,
anyway.
Yeah.
And it probably gets to like 6, 7, maybe 8. And we have like a big storage unit of all the sports equipment.
Exactly.
So like you're meant to be on a platform where you do maybe football week 1, rugby week 2, dodgeball week 3.
Never that way, is it?
Yeah, you rock up. Now I have 2 footballs in my boot all the time. So I would say a good 5 out of those 10 weeks is just football. I'm not getting to that lockup. Like I'm just like,
I'd be rocking up. I was like, right, I've work tomorrow, and then it gets like half an hour before work. I was like, I was meant to go to the lockup. The Easons are doing football for the third week in a row.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's I think that shows where your focus is.
That's the other thing I find. Like I was like I've had a couple of back and forths with my boss where I'm like, I'm not gonna cancel a client so I can take 25 minutes to drive down to the lockup and then make my journey 40 minutes longer to just pay. You must be joking. No chance. You know,
but that's what you have to do.
Yep, but
there's one recently.
But it doesn't happen.
I know, no, it won't happen.
You're £30 a day, and that's just it.
Yeah.
You know, it's non-negotiable.
Yep.
And it's like, run here. Would you do this? Would you do that? And I was like, I just got to this stage where I was like, mate, I honestly.
Yeah.
I'm just not dealing with this shit anymore.
Yeah.
I just
you work with your hourly, and you're like, oh, £15 an hour. It's it's
good. Yeah, it's solid. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's dead on.
But then you consider where you have to go for the schools.
Yeah.
So you have to travel maybe half an hour there, half an hour back.
Yeah.
And then it works out £10 an hour because that's an extra hour on your thing.
Yeah.
Then you take away the fact that you're paying petrol.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the fact that parents sometimes are late picking up their kids. It's another 15 minutes.
100%.
And yeah, it's and then the lockup. You know, more lockups. I think it's East Belfast or something.
Same here.
So
actually.
it's Troop like.
Ballysellinars was actually north.
Around Castlereagh Road, I think.
But I mean,
I don't even know if that's East Belfast. I don't know Belfast, but it's Castlereagh Road.
I just know like West Belfast. That's literally it. But I mean, like for me, I was having to write off 1 to 5.
Yeah,
that's time now where I'm taking 3 clients every day.
Yeah,
every single day. Them slots are filled, and my gym is 10 minutes up the road from my house. Yeah. So there's no driving the lockups. There's no dicking about. There's no getting shit from kids. Like, man, it's just a happier life. And I've been like my fiance. I tell you, like. I text her every day. I fucking hate this place. I'm the exact same. I'm leaving. This is the last of it. So it is. This is the last.
She'll tell you. I feel terrible because I had a phrase the other day. It'd probably get me sacked. I'm not coming back to these week cunts. Every one of them are cunts.
I've said that.
It was brutal. I think I told you about it. It's the worst school I've been in.
Yeah,
the Tuesday. The worst school I've been in.
Mate, some days just rub you up wrong, don't they? Like?
Yeah, mate. Some terrible lines came out of my voice about 5-year-old children.
That's not even me, but to bring you to a different level, that's the shit you hear your parents complain about. You know what I mean? And you're like, I get it. Now I get it.
Yeah.
After working with 15 of them, you know, and it's like, see the job itself. Some days the best job in the world.
Yeah, literally.
Other days it truly is hell. Mm-hmm. Other days I'm standing thinking I would rather go back to the factory I was in 6 years ago.
Yeah.
With my earphones in, pulling planks of wood out of a machine and stacking them. Like honestly, mate. Like, but
that's good that you have that perspective. You know, it's always hard to relate back to that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes I have to pinch myself as like I do have the best job in the world.
Yeah.
And there's phases 100%. You go through. And to be fair, I haven't had any in the last, I'd say, a good lot of months. But there's sometimes it was like diving on it, like just going through the motions basically.
Yeah.
Whereas I think it happened to me maybe a year ago now. I was looking at jobs in like a warehouse working for Amazon, and I was like, but I was going to do it to make myself realise, you know, a bit of gratitude.
To be grateful, 100%.
Yeah, because I was literally going to work there from, I don't even know, it was like a 6 a.m. shift to 12 in midday.
Mate,
and I was like, I'm going to graph this out because I'll never take another day in my job for granted.
To teach yourself a lesson almost, yeah.
Yeah, literally just like give myself a slap on the wrist and put myself through hell just to appreciate it.
I done that for Front Village Bakery. 4:30 start every morning, 12 o'clock finish. At the time I thought this is excellent. Full day ahead of you every single day. Yeah. 12 o'clock finish. What about everything I can get done in that time? Sleep. Yeah. That's what you do when you get home. Yeah. You're in bed. Like, this was summer actually. I worked for them, and it was actually the staph infection that I had to leave there too, because it wouldn't give me time off. And I was like, I can't even get a shoe on. I literally couldn't get a shoe on. My foot, mate, my toe was that big. It was fucking unbelievable. But I 4:30 start, and I thought it was great. But you're going to bed at, you're kind of up 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. That's 8 hours sleep. Yeah, I get to bed at 9 every night, fresh as a daisy.
Yeah.
But of course, the sun's still up at 9 in summer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. So I was going to say, on prep for competing in bodybuilding, I was up at like 3:30 every morning. But then, and it was all fine and well at the start of prep, because I think I started it in February or March I think I started in. And then as the months went on, it was harder and harder and harder. Yeah, and then the last month of prep, I just took off work, because I was like, I can't schedule myself to get up at a certain time, because I don't know when I'm going to be able to sleep. And even sleep is like so important to me. It's like exactly what you said with MMA. It's so important. You just set a goal, that's what I'm doing. Nothing's going to
Mate,
stop me.
literally 2 weeks ago, you're one of my clients, you know.
Yeah.
I called a week off, mate, because when you're fighting, it's like, my body needs the rest. I can't be holding pads for 45 rounds a day. Like, although when you're not training hard, that doesn't really, for me anyway, I don't feel like it takes a major toll on the body.
You'll notice it whenever it's important, something important.
100%.
And then you start to notice what's taking its toll on you.
I'm taking a rest day, I'm waking up the next day and I'm not recovered at all. You know, I've slept well, I've ate well, I've hydrated well.
Yeah.
And I am not recovered at all. Why? And it was actually, again, the missus said to me, my miss has some wisdom. And on reflection, she's a smart woman, I must say, mate. She's a good one. But like, that's brownie points there. She'll like that. She'll like that. See that, love? But no, she said, like, Leon, you're not resting. How's standing in a ring holding pad resting? Like, Leon, even you being on your feet, sorry, like instructing people in a class, it's not resting. Resting is relaxing you time.
Yep.
And I was like, you're actually 100% right. So 100%. I called off the week, and of course that week caught the flu. Unbelievable. Like, call off the week, your body just happens a lot in camps, your body crashes.
Yeah.
So the flu all weekend, and thankfully was healthy come the fight. But
yeah, because I remember telling you had me on that Monday, and I was like, mate, everyone will understand. Like,
everybody did. Yeah. That's one thing I must say about my clients. They are a great bunch.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
You'd say yourself.
Because they know themselves. Like, you're training for a fight. That's what most of them want to do.
Yeah, that's what a lot of them actually are doing. You know, fair play to them. You know, so it's.
So if anyone's going to understand.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that is true.
They're annoying me. Can't catch them either.
No chance. They'll find a gap like and slip out.
But yeah, no, it's especially on a camp. That is when you're going to get sick though, because that is your body is run to the ground. You know, you hear that some of these camps and people are training twice a day. It's like, mate, you are.
Mate, I was every day.
Yeah.
Every morning, every evening. I was getting up in the morning doing some sort of strength and conditioning, and I could have been something as silly as 3 rounds shadow boxing, 3 rounds skipping.
Yeah.
Push-ups and core, like something really simple.
Yeah.
But then you've still got your hard session that night.
Yeah.
And again, I'm telling myself, like, I'm sometimes a wee bit stupid, and as a boxing coach you'd think I know better, but sometimes I'm like, this is active recovery. You're bouncing about that ring, giving it 90, shadow boxing for 3 minutes. You know, it's not active recovery, but you tell yourself that because as well, you don't want to leave no stone unturned at that phase. You know, you know yourself. You've had a wee fight, you know, so you know the feelings coming up to that. Like, it's you don't want to leave anything to chance, you know, especially when
you
it's
want to be 100% going in there.
You said about the bodybuilding there, and that's not something I've ever clearly ever done.
Hey, good Nick,
but like when you're going in to get punched actually on the head, like you're like, I can't be taking no chances. You know, obviously bodybuilding, it's such a fine art with physique and stuff. That's a completely different type of difficult. You
but
know,
it's the minor. It's still the minor details and the minor margins that are going to determine.
I would say so.
The outcome. So
100%.
it's very
so I mean, they're so strict on that. Like, I mean, like I've seen guys, even like yourself. You know, you're like, how could somebody get in better shape than that? You know, like
it's mad. Like, see from an outside perspective, when you're looking at a bodybuilding stage, you're just like, yeah, they all look great. I wonder how he won that and he didn't win that.
That's what I was thinking. Like, they are all in absolutely phenomenal shape.
It's very fine line.
It is,
and
fine line.
it's those things that matter. Like, it's conditioning that wins you shows.
So to drain your, but it's like all about, again, I don't know much about it, but it's like striation. Is that the right word? Striations and stuff. Like, that's a big thing. So it's
vascularity,
like completely draining your body to half the death, really, isn't it? Like, and then performing half the death. I suppose that's
pretty much. You do get a bit of a refuel before you go in. Everyone will have their different approaches. Like, it all depends on what you're looking. Like, say you're 24 hours out and you look good and you haven't had much food, they'll be like, right, well, we're not going to give you much food, we're going to keep you where you are.
That's what I was thinking.
But then there's some times where you're just flat, and like, you'll probably know if you've ever tried doing weights, know when you're not eating much and you're training hard, and you just can't get a pump.
Yeah, 100%.
And nothing's going in the muscle.
Yeah,
like, there's sometimes you're coming in like that and it's like, right, you need to drink a load of water and you need a load of carbs, and then that'll fill you up.
Yes.
There's such fine margins and there's so much detail in it. Like, ideally what you would do is you would have like a trial before competing, where you're like, right, it's 2 weeks out, you're ready to go now, so we're going to fill you up with 600 grams of carbs this day, 700 grams of carbs this day, and then back to 600, and see how you look.
Yeah.
and see how your body responds to that, because
600.
people respond completely differently.
It's a lot of carbs.
It is.
That's
And
a
like
lot
some
of
people
carbs.
couldn't handle that, so they'd be like, right, you spilled over a wee bit, and that's when you like spill a wee bit of water, so you're not just as clear as you should be.
right.
And then they'd be like, right, so we're going to fine tune that. We'll try again this Saturday, and we'll do 300 grams of carbs each day.
Trial and error,
And
really.
see
Yeah.
how that looks, and see
Yeah.
how your body responds. And then there's diuretics, where you're flushing like load of vitamin C and all, where you like flush all the water out. And there's so many fine tuning.
I feel like on them shows sometimes, surely a refuel can almost be your worst enemy, because
Yeah.
you lose that. You don't lose it. You still, the someone, the uneducated eye, you look in incredible shape. But as you said, the judges are looking for like striations.
Yeah.
Almost complete dehydration.
And, like,
if we're
I
being
was
honest.
nervous for mine, because I remember it was about a week. Was it a week? A few days before even competing, and I was on like no carbs, no fat.
Yeah.
I had to dig deep because I wasn't going to be ready in time.
Only just protein, was it?
Literally, it's like leaves,
Like small
leaves and chicken. Was all I had. Like, it was brutal.
Lovely.
Egg whites, chicken, leaves, and I was just eating bowls of it. Like, but because I hadn't had carbs that long, I had a bowl, and I was like, right, carbs in today. Have a packet of rice with your chicken. And I was like, happy days, can't wait to have that feeling of carbs again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I had it, mate, and I was bloated for about 4 hours.
Yeah.
So like, you've got that nervousness about it as well.
It's
you know
a
what I mean?
really,
It's-
really fine art. Like, it really is. That's just complete manipulation of your body. There's no like boxing.
And it's studying your body as well, the data of it all.
Oh, you'd have to be.
But you need a coach looking over you for that, like an educated coach looking over you
I
for
would
that.
say so. It's something I'm completely clueless about, being
Yeah.
honest. But I mean, I respect the work that goes into it. Like,
but it teaches you a lot, like.
Yeah.
Teaches you a lot, so I learned a hell of a lot from it.
Absolutely.
And then,
how far you can push your body for one,
yeah.
that's
ready to drop weight for a fight anytime.
gift.
Be interested to see what we gotta get down to. I think I was
What weight are you on there? 60.
I'm about 73 kilo at the minute, and I competed at 70. Now I have less muscle on me now.
Yeah.
So,
I think
I don't know.
you're about 5'7", 5'6".
I'll take 5'7". Yeah.
5'6" and
It's
a half,
5'6".
we'll call it. That's like me, 6 foot with Air Force, mate. So that's why that's the only trainers I wear. But I mean, I'd say you could push 66. Welterweight.
Yeah, 66.
Welterweight's
67, yeah.
sort of 66 to 69, and depending on what show you're competing on. I'd
And
say
I'll still
you
be
could
fighting tall boys.
you
Like,
could hit six. You would like I fight at 66,
yeah.
and I'm 6 foot with Air Force.
Yeah. Just wear a force in your box.
No problem.
But that's.
How'd you find your fight anyway? Did
I loved
you
it.
enjoy it?
I loved it.
You were
Yeah.
very, very impressive.
It did.
Very impressive. I must
It
admit.
did go out the window. Everything went out the window. It was.
See, to be honest,
Because my whole game plan is like, right, this boy's gonna come out. He's gonna be nuts. So he's gonna, and I'm just gonna
make him chase you and counter him.
Yeah, and then I was like, I think it was his boys shouting all. And they're like, knock him out. I was like, right, you'll fucking shoot. He's
Fucking on, yeah, that's.
It was too easy. And then I think it was like before the third round, you heard him shouting and all. And you turned around and he was like, you're like, don't get involved in it. And to be fair, at that stage, I was chilled out. I was almost a wee bit too chilled out. I think what happened, I said this the other day, I think him being so upbeat made me not want to get on like that and be the opposite. Because there's a photo of us, like, it's in between rounds, and I'm just sitting there like that, like looking at you, and I just look like the most chilled out person in the room.
100%.
Meanwhile, all the mates are down there like fucking.
Like it's just sitting here now. I'm hanging over the ropes. You're listening. That's a good photo. But no, he was good opponent. I must admit. Like for your first bout, they don't come much more game than that guy. They really don't. Like, and you done very, very well. I thought it was fantastic. Really enjoyed
Busting
it.
To get back, I would love that.
All in good time, mate. All in good time.
It'll come.
All in good time. Absolutely.
But yeah.
A quick shout out to another sponsor of the podcast, MC Nutrition. MC Nutrition have you covered for all of your supplement needs, whether it be protein powder, pre-workout, creatine, amino acids, energy gels, anything that you can think of, they have you covered. They stock the best and most popular brands, including NXT, Chaos Crew, and my personal favourite, Iron Elite. Iron Elite is genuinely the nicest protein powder that I have tasted, and best of all, it gets delivered straight to your door. Head over to their website at www.mcnutrition.shop or find them on Instagram at mcnutrition0. Back to the podcast.
In your boxing career and your MMA career,
yes,
what are the things you think it takes to be a competitive fighter?
What does it take?
Yeah.
it's everything.
Yeah.
Honestly, mate, everything. Like, it takes
To be in that zone where you
And
were
that-
with the MMA.
yeah, mate,
Year round.
yeah, that's the hard place to be. That's
Yeah.
somewhere I'm a wee bit ashamed to say I don't feel like I've ever been. I'm one of these fighters. I'll do a hard training camp and I'll go away and, like, for example, a couple of weeks ago I had a fight, won my belt and went on holiday. Now, to be fair, that holiday was already booked.
Yeah.
But I still-
No, I think that's a normal thing to do. I think
It
that's,
is, but the right way to do it is to be an all year round fighter.
Yeah.
Like,
It's kind of that goal. Like, say you're MMA, for example, and your goal is to get the UFC.
yeah,
You wouldn't get that holiday.
You wouldn't. No, you wouldn't, because it's just
It's like, no, I'm not there yet.
It's just
I'm not there yet.
on to the next
I'm
one.
not there yet. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just on to the next one.
One
and
after the
that
other,
is
just
the
knocking
attitude.
them down. But
It's,
yeah.
it's like if you haven't took damage in your fight, if you're lucky enough to get out of your fight, you know, you're always going to take a certain level of
yeah.
damage. But I mean, if you've been cleared medically after your fight, like, it's just on to the next one. It's literally straight back into another training camp.
Yeah.
Because, mate, it's 8 weeks you do a training camp for, really. 8 to 12 weeks. Some people do 12. How many 12 weeks are there in a year? Like, really? You know, 12 into, 52?
It's a good maths question.
Mate, that's under 5.
48, then.
It's under 5.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so that's 5 fights a year. So that's camp.
Yeah.
That's your life.
Yeah,
Mate,
yeah.
And you know what a camp's like.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's a different mindset. You need to switch. Like, when you're in camp, you're different with your family, you're different with your friends, you're a different
Yep,
person.
yep.
You're dieting, you're training, you're
All these social invites.
you're not there, mate. You're
Yeah,
not
I
there.
can't
Like,
take it.
you're downtime, you're sore, you're tired. Like, if you're having downtime, you're not sitting there thinking, oh, I feel great today, you know.
Yeah.
Let's go for a walk up the mornings. Let's go away in the van and do it. It's like, no, when you're sitting there, you're on the sofa and you can't move. And as soon as you can move again, guess what? You're back fucking training.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
like, that is what, in a nutshell, that's what it takes. It really is, mate. And it's a crazy life to live, but
It is interesting.
some people just love it. I mean, like, there's guys, like, I've seen it firsthand up in Fight Academy. Obviously, in Fight Academy, I was lucky enough to train with, like, professional fighters, like the likes of Paul Hughes, not with as such, but
Yeah.
alongside, you know.
I seen a video of Paul Hughes last night. Did you see it?
That guy's an
Yeah.
That guy's an all. But I mean, alongside them, I was like,
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
like a
You
fly
get to
on
see
the
it
wall.
then,
I'm
yeah,
over
yeah.
doing my thing, but like, you're out the corner of your eye, like, what are them boys doing? And
Yeah.
mate, they just don't stop. They're a different
Yeah.
breed. They are, like, they're
Hungry, like.
Hungry.
Takes some amount of hunger.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Mate, it's crazy. You've literally no time for nothing else. And
Yeah.
you know as well, you get matched with an opponent, that's the only guy you can think of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even when you're with family, when you're with friends, when you're with your missus, you're thinking of hurting this guy, you're thinking of how you're going to beat this guy, you're thinking, if he does this, I'm going to do that. When your head's on the pillow at night, you're thinking, I'm going to try this wee step.
Yeah.
I think I'll slip
Yeah.
that jab and land this up.
That's how I got, and I was like,
That's the way it is.
2
mate.
weeks
It's
before the
it's
fight.
obsession.
And I was like, I probably sat there for about an hour or two. And I was like, I haven't slept a wink here. I'm up in like 5 hours.
So you're
But
strategizing?
I was like, because I always think of something to take my mind, and then my mind just wanders and I fall asleep.
Yeah, I normally sing a wee song.
Yeah,
The last
yeah.
song I heard, I just sing the same verse over
And it brings you to
over.
something. It brings some sort of image in your head, and then you drift from there. But
Yeah.
my image was boxing, and because it's so upbeat, I was almost like fucking moving in bed.
like your adrenaline's
I think I
gone.
did. Knowing you're sleeping and you feel like you're falling.
Absolutely,
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure I landed one. I was like,
Every night. Every night. And getting all this, you know, she's like, what are you doing, Leon? You know, but it is, it's like, and as I say, I'm not that all year round fighter at all, but like,
Yeah.
I've seen it firsthand, you know, and it's a crazy way to live, like,
Yeah.
it really is, but
But it goes back to that the saying, it's meant to complement your life, not,
exactly.
well, what is it?
I know what you're saying, like, it's
Compliment, not complicate. That's it. Yeah.
Exactly,
So like
yeah.
it's a hobby.
Like, it's not meant to be
Whereas,
a
like
burden.
it's not a hobby for them boys.
No, it is. It's their life.
Yeah.
It's their life.
Yeah.
It's the
And that's the
lowest.
difference.
It's the hardest, lowest paying job on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Being an up and coming fighter. Like, them guys, say they fight 5 times a year. Maybe they're getting, like, in low level boxing and low level MMA, like, it's not a lot of money. Like,
No.
it's a couple of £1,000 maybe. You know, I don't even think you're cracking 10k.
Yeah.
You know, if you can only get that every 12 weeks. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're earning
can be
more.
tight,
You're
like.
earning more standing in a factory scratching your arse, and these
Yeah.
boys are working, training 3 sessions a day, dying all year round.
Yeah.
Getting in the cage, trying to kill each other for buttons, and like,
And
it's
all
just-
that money's probably just going back on to food,
Training.
you know, even supplements, training,
Yeah,
coaches.
it is. That's why the sponsors are so important for fighters.
Yeah,
You know, especially
yeah,
as they go up the levels. Like, amateur fighters and stuff, they like to get sponsors, but I mean, they're not as crucial. You know, because
Yeah.
amateur fighters don't need to train as much. But with professional fighters, it is literally their life, mate. Like,
Yeah.
it is their life. Like, and I'll say again, I'm not talking from experience, but just what I've seen, and I've spoke to these guys, and like they're just different, mate. There's a aura oozes off them. Do you know what I mean? They're serious guys, like serious guys.
But it's interesting. Like, again, the closest thing I can relate to that is obviously bodybuilding.
Yeah.
You know, being that year round, I was proper into it.
Did you do it for a full year? Like full
yeah, but I might go whole for a year. Like,
no cheat meals or nothing?
Our cheat meals, it depends, because whenever you're bulking, I was allowed like one a week, especially because the amount of food I was eating, mate. I was like on like 5,000 plus calories a day.
Yeah.
So there'd be days where you are lacking, you know, maybe around 3,000, and you're on your last meal, and it's like, right, well, I need to make 2,000 calories in a meal here. Otherwise I would have lost weight.
Don't have
like
to tell you
when you're
twice.
that much,
You need to.
you know, if I had 2,000 calories a month sitting now, I'd probably be like 2-3 kilo up in the next few days.
Not easy.
But because I'm so used to that food,
Yeah.
weight would fall off me
You
if
need
I
to
didn't eat
feel
it.
a machine,
So-
like you do.
But I was there. I was hard at it. I had a few nights out, but I could count them on one hand, you know, that year. And then I went into prep, and prep was just like nothing.
Yeah.
No matter what. Like, I would actually get annoyed at people for asking me, because like, you know, I'm on prep. You know I can't.
Yeah, don't tell
it's
me.
like almost annoying. It's like
100%.
people, do you want to come down, watch the match and have a few pints? I was like, no.
I can't. Nah.
No. And I wouldn't even go down. Like, I go down now and watch the match every week, and I'll sit there sober. Like, I'm not tempted to have a drink. But back then I just couldn't, because I was just so in the zone. I didn't want to take my mind off it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Or
Exactly. You'd rather sit in the house and watch YouTube videos on bodybuilding or take notes. 100%. 100%. I can
it
relate
actually
to
got to
that.
the stage where I think I was kind of what sealed it for me and made me want to stop. Because like, as soon as I came out of that show, I was like, right, this year is the one. I'm going back next year, gonna take titles, and for the first while I was so gun ho with it, like, see, tracking every single step, every single, like, I mean, everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I have a spreadsheet, which I don't even know if I've got on that, but it was meta. Every single week, the check-in, average steps, average calories, average protein, everything was just food plan to the gram.
To perfection.
Water intake. It was mental. And then that's when I actually started talking to my missus, and like, anything we done was just like, well, I need to get steps. Don't go for a walk.
Yeah.
Like, don't go for dinner.
Off the Ryan training. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
But I think after a while I realised how restrictive it was, and then I was just like, I want to live a little here.
Sort of similar with me with MMA, to be honest. Like, I realised again.
And it was, you know, whenever you said it earlier, it's whenever I clicked, it's like, I started living a little, and then I was like, no, I want to go through a good training phase here. And then I just couldn't help but think, where would I be if I didn't take that wee break? And that's what you're probably thinking with your injury.
That's the killer.
And then it's like, I should be further ahead.
That's the killer.
And I'm so self-critical. I was just like, no. That's it.
We're 100%. We're very similar in that way, in our competitive spirit.
Yeah, it's all or nothing for me. Like,
I'm the same.
Yeah.
I don't really do half measures in anything I do. Like even leaving my job, walking out of my job there yesterday, that's because I felt like I was half-assing it, my job, and I was like, why am I half-assing it? You know, it's not, I might as well just leave it. If I lose a couple of quid, so what? At least I'm doing what I'm passionate about. At least I'm doing what I love, and the money will come. You know, do you know what I mean? It just follow your passion. That's simple as that, isn't it? Like,
this is the last time that I'll interrupt the podcast. This time is to tell you about Goretta Hub. Goretta Hub is a shop based in Lisburn, but it is quite different to most shops. Inside, it has stock of the brand itself, Goretta, as well as fellow podcast sponsors Drop It and MC Nutrition. They have a photographer, 2 artists, 3 jewelers, 3 other clothing brands, and a shoe company, all under one roof. And that's just the shop floor. They have a barber's studio on the 3rd floor, which they are currently on the lookout for. So if you are a barber in the local Lisburn or Belfast area, be sure to give them a shout. You can find them on Instagram at Goretta Collective. Back to the podcast.
couldn't fault it.
that's meant to be a Northern Ireland top hat.
I was wondering what that
Yeah,
Under Armour Northern Ireland.
that's what I wore to the Teqball World Championships.
Oh, the World Championship.
Oh, I mean, it's mental old story, that.
What's that?
The Teqball, so...
what?
Teqball,
Yes,
no,
that
the wee
was
curved table tennis tables.
That's
Yeah,
right. World Championships, is that what you were at right now?
So Sam...
I thought you were joking there. I thought
No,
you were talking
not
about
even.
a Cirque 5-a-side tournament or something there.
No, fuck it, I cleaned up
That's
that.
right.
But-
That's right. I remember you were doing that. That's class.
Yeah, I mean, Sam got the invite, and then he was like, they were like, do you know anyone that would be keen for doing doubles with you? And he thought it meant so he could do the singles and then do the doubles as well.
Yeah.
And he was like, he asked a few of his freestyle mates, and none of them could. And then he's like, right, look, do you want to come?
Look, I'll do.
And I was like, oh, happy days. And then it turned out that he couldn't do the singles because he'd entered a doubles partner.
No, so you ran in the singles?
Me and
you were doubles?
Real. And everything was paid for. We were staying in some like...
Where was it?
Budapest.
Lethal, mate.
Yeah, we had free flights, free accommodation, and like the accommodation, mate, there's a 5-star restaurant downstairs, 5-star, like it's Aqua World or something, that like all in one resort.
Like an indoor water park, was it?
Yeah, and it was mental.
Class, man.
And then he took the piss one bit further. He's like, can we both bring a +1? And they're like, yeah, that's fine.
Result.
And then 2 of my mates ended up coming.
You don't ask, you don't get.
And then for them to get in the hall, we were like, yeah, there are coaches. So they're all going these coaching badges. And we'd never even heard of Teqball. Never even heard of it. And then what was it? So we went in first day, and these boys are nuts. Like, see the boys who have played before. They're like 6'4".
I can imagine.
And their foot goes above their head and they slam the ball down. So it's like impossible to deal with. Like,
I'd be useless at that, mate. I was never the
my technical skills, like they'd be my strong game. Like,
that'd be by far my biggest weakness. I was a sort of one touch head up pass sort of guy.
Yeah.
Like, keep the ball moving.
Well, that's what you have to be in 11-a-side. Like,
I was not a skill player at all.
I was nuts. So our group was Japan, Mexico, and Cook Islands. So Cook Islands, I think it's off the Caribbean or something.
Never heard of it.
No, neither did I. And it was 2 brothers from there who had never played before either. So we beat them. We beat them like 20-13 or something. It was easy enough. When we were
Is that what it's up to? 20? It's not like table tennis then? 21?
No, just
20?
first to 20.
First to 20, right.
And then, so we beat them, and then Japan was next, and Japan didn't show up. So we were like, oh, happy days.
Walkover?
Went down as 20-0 to us.
Lethal.
And then Mexico didn't show up. So we went through. So I went through to the last 16. And then we were like, here, I could have swore I seen something on the information thing. And it was like, prize money. We got £1,000 for getting through the last 16.
For playing one game.
And then we got drawn against, I can't remember who it was, but they were good. I think they came like 3rd last year.
Yeah.
And we were like, right, well, we're beat. So we went out that night.
That's a win, the free holiday, mate. Couldn't be bad, dude. Bit of crack.
And then I think we stayed out till about 6 o'clock in the morning. And then we came back to the hotel and they were coming down the lift as we were going up. They were going down to get breakfast and get ready. And we were like,
These were all one. Yeah, these were just getting in.
So we went up, got like 2 hours sleep. And for some reason, this is like 2019, I had pre-workout with me. Like, I brought pre-workout out with me. I was convinced I was going to find the gym and get a training session in.
Yeah.
And we were hanging out our arse, and I gave Sam a scoop of pre-workout, and he had never had it before.
And
I took 2.
Too?
Yeah, like first thing in the morning. And mate, we were just awake.
Were you?
And then we played it, and we're laughing at ourselves. Like, I think we were up to 22 and 21 in 2 games.
Pre-workout, that's one thing I've never done. I think that would blow my socks off, honestly.
It does, because it's stuff that your body's not used to having.
Yeah, that would blow my socks off 100%. Like,
but I don't even know how it worked with the placings, like, but we ended up 12th in the world. And yeah. And then it wasn't on the next year, so technically we were 12th in the world for 2 years running.
Undefeated.
And we didn't get invited back. So that's
seen enough, mate.
That's the memoir.
That's unbelievable. That is a good story.
I was looking around my room, I was like, what can I put as a background? I was like,
I remember seeing on your Instagram, it must have been, or Facebook or whatever it was. I remember seeing it and being like, that looks interesting, but fuck, that looks hard.
Yeah.
I thought like
it's tricky. Like,
you need to have a real soft touch on you, like a real accurate
and like that's
touch,
obviously Sam's game. That's why he got asked, because he's a freestyle. But I think I scored more points than him.
How much touches are you allowed? 2 each?
3 between the team.
3 between the team.
So you're taking that first touch to control it, and then you're knocking it up for your teamate, and then he's heading it back.
Heading it 90%.
And you can't return with your lower body twice in a row. So like, say I chest it to him and then he knees it across.
Yeah.
Means the next return can't be feet or knees.
It
has to be head or chest.
Or shoulder or something. Then boys were probably popping over with
Here, I don't know his shoulder, so I did. I have it on video now. But no, I actually back myself with it. But yeah, when you come up against those boys, there's no chance.
Man, it's for your first
game
time,
over.
you can't be expecting to beat people that have probably been doing it their whole life. Like, Teqball's a national sport.
Ronaldinho was there.
No way.
Yeah, he's in the same room as Ronaldinho. My mate actually sent me.
Did you meet him? Like,
no, I didn't meet him. But we'll just see. My mate sent me this the other day.
Ronaldinho, boy. Was he playing? Did you get the same playing? No.
I think he played Puyol. Puyol was there as well.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, he sent me that and it's like, was this Budapest? And I'm in that room somewhere. In that clip.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
Yeah, mate,
Ronaldinho, like, what an
I think
icon.
who else was there?
Was there a load of like footballers there, like proper?
There were a few. I can't remember who it was. I know Puyol was there.
It's the World Championship, so it's got to attract.
Yeah, it was very, very small scale. So I think they're like trying to get them on as ambassadors. And like the likes of Ronaldinho.
So in the
technical
Olympics?
game. No way.
No?
No. It will be though.
Soon
And
enough,
I'll be in.
You'll be there.
Like,
You and Sam.
I'll be coming there. Like, we are the Northern Irish Typhollers.
Number 12 in the world. If you didn't know.
Yeah, but they actually done a wee tournament up in Antrim. Teqball and I. And they invited us down and they were like, yeah, we'll go. And I rocked up. And I didn't even know who it was at the time. But a boy walked in and I was like, he looks like a player. The one that just got that walk about them or something.
The calves,
like,
mate.
Yeah.
I think it's the calves.
And he's just like, he's wearing the high socks. We Northern Ireland, like no training top. I was like, he looks like a player. It's Trey Hume.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He is a player, yeah, 100%.
And he was there with Kofi Balmer. So at the time, I think they were both on loan at Ballymena.
Yeah.
And then Kofi Balmer went and played first team for Larne. Trey Hume went and played first team at Linfield. Then got signed to Sunderland. Kofi Balmer got signed to Crystal Palace. So they're both over the water.
Not bad
Me and
players.
Sam beat them in the first game.
Did you?
Yeah, mate, we played them and we beat them in the first game, and then the second game they come back and they slapped us like.
Well, listen.
But I'm gonna crop that out and.
That's 1-1. That's a rematch.
Yeah,
mate.
mate,
Run it back.
come at us, boys.
Run it back for £1,000.
So I'm calling out now. Trey Hume, Kofi Balmer, come on the podcast and we'll talk it out.
Let's
we'll
go.
talk terms.
Bring it on. I'm not playing like. Count me out.
But yeah, you've recently just went full throttle at the coaching yourself.
Yes, full throttle, mate. All steam ahead on
Quit
the
their
coaching.
job.
Quit my job.
Yeah,
it's
full at it, like.
it's looking like pretty much the goal is 9 to 6 every day. But I mean, ultimately, not the goal bigger than that is the train champions. You know, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I've a fight team now of sort of 7 or 8 boys. 6 of them out here in November, so that's going to be a great night for me. You know, that's why I started. That's so rewarding, you know, to see people like come in, do a bit of training, maybe start it for the fitness, even like yourself, you know, when you come in, you and Johnny and obviously Austin and stuff had boxed before, but you and Johnny, you come in, you weren't too sure maybe lose a bit of weight, tone up, learn a bit of boxing, and then 4 months later you're fighting in front of maybe 200 people. You know, it's that's for me, that's so rewarding, you know, because I know firsthand that feeling, like how good it feels. Like, don't get me wrong, of course the walk to the ring's daunting and it's an intense time, but like that feeling after, mate, win, lose or draw is electric. Like there's nothing, in my experience in sport, there's nothing quite like it. Even like lifting a cup in football, like for me, nothing compares to that feeling, because it's individual, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's you versus you. Like the whole camp. Like it's not like football.
Even when it comes to football, I'm all about the awards at the end of the season. I want to be top scorer, I want to be player of the season. Mate, if we win nothing, it's my individual. And it's a terrible way to look at it. But
not necessarily, mate, because all you can control.
It depends what drives you.
You can't control what your team can do. So if you control what you can do well, if everybody on the team thinks like that, you're going to be a good team. Yeah. Do you know? Well, maybe not if everybody wants top goal scorer. You have the centre half.
Mate, I was raging. I keep assisting our top scorer. I was like,
bastard. Yeah.
Especially on Saturday there, I went on the run. Literally beat like 6 or 7 boys, like in and out the box. The point where the other team were like giving me high fives after. I was like, yeah, that was good. And I set up our striker who's beating me for top scorer. I was raging.
Killer. She was just stuck in the top corner, mate.
Mate, I was lunging and I came off the side of my foot and it just like rolled to him and he just tapped it. I was like,
it
wasn't worth it.
Top assist there, maybe.
If NI football app done assists, I'd be up there. Like,
there's no assists in the end of the season, no.
No.
I feel like that would have been my one. You know, if I was going to win anything at the end of the season, that would have been the one that I would fancy my chances most with. Like I wasn't much of a goal scorer. Like it was more of an assist man. But there's nothing worse than when you play an absolute cracking ball down the line and someone gets one more touch on it and they get the assist. That's a killer. Like that's my assist. I created that goal. That's
the hockey assist.
That's what it is. Exactly, man. Exactly.
But obviously you're still young in your coaching career. When was it you started? It was March, was it?
We've been round about the start of this year, sort of February, March. Well, I think you were maybe my second client.
Yeah.
be honest, you know. So whenever you started, that was sort of the
It's
start
like
of
I
it
went
there.
down to the club. I'd say probably the start of March.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been coaching. I sort of like
It started March whenever the yard closed. That was the 1st of March.
Aye.
So it would have been like a week or two after that.
was
whenever
around about early March.
But you put it in perspective, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. We're in October, so what's that?
What are we at? 8 months.
8 months. Not 8 full months either.
Yeah.
And you've got 6 boys fighting, and were you cornering Jay, or were you?
Yeah, no,
coaching
Corner
for it?
J. Yeah, Corner J. He was my first official win. You know.
Yeah.
First official win at the club.
So
and
mate,
then
in
of
a
course-
short space of time,
It's going well, mate. I'm very, very, very grateful for how it's going. Like,
and you can see your heads in it as well.
mate, I'm over them. Like, it's all I think about. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I left
yeah.
my job for it. It is literally my complete passion. That's all I want to do. Like, is to see people get better at boxing. Like, I just love it. Like, even when I was always doing boxing as a kid, like, in the back of my mind, like, I always wanted to be a coach more than a fighter. Like, even in the club when I was 15, like, there was a white collar event. And like I volunteered every Sunday morning. I come up and coached them, and like took them on the pad, sparred them, took them through drills, and I got a real kick off that. Like I was 15, coaching fully grown male. Probably because they were listening to me. I thought it was great, you know, that way. But like, mate, I've just always got a kick off coaching. Like my dad was the same. As you know, he coached Distillery and won the league. Like he was always a very, very good coach. He actually coached my brother.
He was in all your brother's teams, wasn't he?
Yeah, he coached me and my brother to a league. That was his sort of. That was his dream
That's a good
fulfilled.
checklist,
You know,
like,
that's what he
yeah.
wanted to do, and he done them both. Fair play to him, you know. So, I've always had a real passion for coaching. It's just something about it, you know. I love it, and all the different walks of life. You see, you know, when you're in there boxing for yourself, you're a bit in your own head. You know, you're only really focused on yourself. But see, when you actually take a minute to look up, and you're like, he's completely different than him. He's completely different than him. He requires talking to different. He requires, you know. That's where I get the reward, you know, being able to have everybody sort of working together for the same common goal, you know, to win fights, win titles, and that's, mate, I love that. I really do. Like that's where I'm at. Like, so,
And there is a certain level of like sportsmanship within boxing. You know, like
Massively.
even if even the boys, that group that we've got, it was like you're sparring someone. Like I remember sparring Johnny.
Yeah.
And Johnny was just this relentless walk forward.
He was.
And then he changed it.
Yeah.
And he started becoming a better boxer.
Yeah.
And more fluent, but he was easier to hit. You know, I hated the fact that he was walking forward. It's like you just constantly have to get out of the way. And then we were sparring, and like he started getting a wee bit too loose, and his hands were down.
Yeah.
And I
100%.
just jabbed him up the nose. I was like, keep your hands up. You know, it's like, but it's like helping him.
That's
I mean, like we're there to hit each other. I'm like, right, keep your hands. You know what I mean? You're talking. It's like,
110%.
I want you to do better. I want you to land one on me. You're like, you know what I mean? So I learned from that.
100%. Mate, I be sparring guys like in the run up to fights. Say you're 3 weeks out, like that's crunch time. You know, you're sparring hard, like they're fights with 14-ounce gloves basically, and you land an absolute peach. Good shot.
Yeah.
And it just continues. He lands a pitch, good shot. You know, it's not, oh, you bastard. I find that's how you can find if someone, that's a big tell if someone is experienced or not, how they spar. It's a massive thing because you sort of, sometimes you see beginners spar and you see the red mist fall a bit, and that's when you sort of have to bring them over and say, listen, all this is doing is taking away from your performance. This anger, you may think, outside the pub I get angry and I crack someone and that's the end of it, you know, but in the ring it doesn't work because you've 6 minutes of it. You need to keep your head 6 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it may be. You need to keep your head for that level of time. Once the red mist falls, you're as good as done, you know. So that's another rewarding thing, you know, from coaching. It's not just teaching them the skills, it's trying to sort of coach the mindset as well, you know, and tell them, you know, taught me certainly a lot about life anyway, because I would have had, when I was younger, like not a bad temper, but a worse temper now. Whereas now I'd like to think I'm quite calm, you know, generally calm, you know, in the sense that I realised that was boxing that made me realise it wasn't me that just came to this revelation. It was boxing that made me realise losing your temper and the red mist falling doesn't get you anywhere in any walk of life, in any situation. Even arguing with a missus, you say something in red hot anger, arguing with your friend, anybody, you go away, after the anger subsides, you regret it every time. You never think, you never wake up the next day and think that was a great idea. You don't. I mean, it's the same in the ring. It's the same in the ring. It just doesn't get you any further. So if you can control your emotions, you're going to be better in everything in life, basically. You know,
Yeah,
not just
literally.
boxing. So I think boxing carries over to a lot of other aspects. 100%.
Big time, big time. I think it actually mellows you out outside the ring. So you've got that outlet for one.
Yeah,
But even from the fact, like, say a fight started,
Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't want to hit you.
mate, it's confidence.
You
as
know,
well.
yeah.
A lot
It's
of
a
people,
big confidence thing,
A lot
mate,
of
'cause-
people react in fear. You know.
Yeah. Big confidence thing, I find.
Okay.
Because I think, especially coming from bodybuilding, you know, people think, oh, he's filling out his t-shirts there, he must be confident.
He's a killing machine. Yeah.
And then I'm just like, no, if this all kicks off, I'm done here.
That's
Like,
it, yeah.
I'm done.
100, mate. 100%.
And then now you've got the confidence of like, well, I know I can stick up for myself.
Yeah.
You know, I can back myself. You know, it's,
I'll take a step
if I need
off.
to.
If he wants to make the move, then I'll not have much choice. But
and it's never an option for me. Like, I just don't get into predicaments like that.
I'm the
but
same.
like, I
Hate
just
it, mate.
know
Hate it.
if something happens, then yeah, I can stick up for myself.
100%. And it's a confidence thing. It takes confidence to turn and walk away from an altercation or a situation more than it does to, right, I'm scared. What do you do? Fight or flight? Fight. Bang. You hit someone.
Yeah.
That's 90% of the time, that's fear.
Yeah.
Unless someone's hitting you first.
It's
then
always going to come back and bite you at some
always,
stage.
mate. It doesn't get you
Always.
anywhere. It really doesn't.
I learned the hard way. Same as you in football. You know, that year with suspensions under 16s, you said earlier.
That was it.
That was my worst year.
I mean, it's just silly stuff, though, isn't it? Like
yeah.
it's your at that age, I suppose it's your testosterone and your ego going
Yeah.
wild. You're trying to find your feet as a man, aren't you? I mean, I suppose we're still trying to find our feet as men at the end of the
Yeah.
day. But back then, especially, you
Yeah.
had a lot to prove to anybody who'd listen, anybody who'd
Yeah.
watch. You just wanted to.
I remember I was scoring goals for fun. Like, I was maybe scored 3 on opening day, 2 the next week, 3 again. I was thriving. And then there's one game I wasn't scoring. I just kicked out of it.
See,
What is that, my own performance? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
100%,
I'm
yeah.
doing it myself. I'm going to take it out on you.
100%.
And I think I got 2 red cards that season, and the next season was under 16, so I got 3 red cards.
Yeah.
And mate, I learned the hard way. Like, because mate, see standing on the sideline watching your team,
It's the worst, mate.
it's the most frustrating thing.
It is.
You're just like, I want to be out there. I know I can be out there. I can physically be out there and help them.
Yeah. I'm
But
not
I was stupid.
100%.
And it's different when you're injured, because like, oh, I'd love to be out there, but I know I can't.
I'm
And
doing
you've
the
got
right
that
thing.
pulling you down.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
it's a
I
different-
went a 3-game suspension, and then the club suspended me. So I was up training with the men's team at this stage as well. And the manager at the time, Paul Kirk, he was like, here, I hear this is happening a lot with you, so we're going to teach you. And you're getting a 6-game ban from the club. So like, you're eligible to play after 3,
But you're not.
but yeah, you're not playing. And I had to stand on the sidelines. I was like,
Ouch.
wow, I have learned.
Did it teach you?
Yeah, man, I haven't got sent off.
Job
since.
well done, then. Job
Yeah,
well done.
I haven't got sent off since.
Job well done.
And to be fair, they only end up banning me for 4, because they're like, right, we're short of players this week.
That's what I was going to say. Like, as well, see, when you're like, not to blow your own trumpet or whatever, but when you know you're a key player,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
team is like, there's no ifs, buts, or maybes. The team is a better team with you in it.
Yeah.
Maybe the guy in your position is a bit of a weak link in the team or whatever,
Yeah.
and you really feel that you're letting the team down, and the whole team
Yeah.
knows you're letting them down. They're like, this is our starting 11, and we're missing one player, and
Yeah.
that can have such a knock-on
The
effect.
one that makes it
so you're
tick,
feeling
yeah.
guilt, you're feeling shit, you're feeling sorry for
Yeah.
yourself. Red cards are the worst, mate. They're the
Fair
worst.
enough.
Should have went to
Fair
boxing.
I should have. Back to the coaching. Best moments so far.
Best moments.
You don't have to rank them or anything, but just
yeah,
a few that
that's-
stood out to you.
Mate, honestly, not just because I'm sitting on your podcast, but your progression has been very rewarding for me. For one of my first clients, you came to me, and as you said yourself, you were sort of a big muscly guy, and
stiff as
you could hit hard, but your boxing needed work, and and you're like,
even learning the theory behind it and all is, actually understanding
that's
boxing
what you
more.
want, mate. That's half the battle, and
Yeah.
like, as you said, you're your own worst critic, and you always want to be the best at everything, so you are like a coach's dream. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you listen to everything, and you improved probably at the quickest rate of any of my clients. And then like on my Instagram and my reels and stuff, a lot of it's videos of you, because your improvements were just unbelievable. So that was a proud moment, because you were one of my first clients, and I was like, my philosophy works. It works.
Yeah. Proof in the pudding.
There's a guinea pig. It works. You know what I mean? Literally, and that's the truth of it. Jay won this fight, of course. Jay's my cousin. Me and Jay's been training together from like, we've been boxing each other from we're 5 years old,
Yeah.
And to bring him and be in his corner was a really proud moment.
There's good photos as well of that.
Mate,
so.
really proud moment for me it was, and he's my older cousin too, so to be able to sort of bring him to a fight, it was a really proud moment for me. All the family were there supporting us both, and it was fantastic. That wee exhibition day was just great.
Yeah,
I loved
I'd
every minute
say
of
so.
that. Seeing you both, and it was great. And seeing how you performed, and you were, not one of you were in an easy fight. Like every one of you, I think every one of you drew blood.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it was one of them. Like and the promoter actually said, like, fight of the night, and what a fight after everybody.
Yeah.
Every one of them, they were cracking fights, and the way you carried yourself in there was unbelievable. That was really proud. I think it all boils down to my proudest moments as a coach are yet to come. They are. I've had a couple, but I know the big moments are yet to come. When my fighters are winning belts, when people are on shows consistently.
And this November one will be a big kickstart.
It's huge. It's huge, and they're yet to come. As you say, I've only been at it 6 months. I guess a proud moment was as well being able to move from my house, from my spare room, into a gym with a ring, heavy bags, put on my first class, get a good turnout to my first class. Like, see, to be honest, mate, this whole last 6 months has just been, for me, one big proud moment. Like, I'm really just so...
Just went from strength to strength.
Mate, I'm just so pleased with how everything's went, and, like, touch wood, it keeps going that way. You know what I mean? Like, because it's been good. Like, I'm very, very grateful for the way it's happened. Like, when I was a kid, this is what I talked about. I want to be a coach, and then when I started boxing, I want to be a boxing coach. And it was all sort of unrealistic. You say these things as a kid, it's like, I want to be a professional footballer. Obviously, that's a bit more of a reach than a boxing coach. But, like, at the same time, it was like, it was a dream and an aspiration of mine for like 10 years plus.
Mate, you're getting yourself out there as well.
Mate, it's
I mean, I see even that Facebook post the other day. How many shares did I get?
I got like 45 shares.
Yes.
I couldn't believe it. Like, I could not believe it. I just threw that up just thinking. I actually threw that up in work. I was in work and I'm like, if this goes well, I'm out of here, right? 10 minutes later, 30 shares. I mean, this is something I've never done in any workplace. But mate, I walked out halfway through the shift. I just walked out. I was like, decision made. Like, that's written in the stars. I've never made a post on anything and got 30 shares that quick. I was like, that's a sign. Like, I'm a big guy on signs, especially from my dad pass and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a sign. I need to leave now. Because if I stayed, the end of the shift might have been good, because that's happened before. The day's been going terrible, and it's ended on a bright note, and I'm like, it's not so bad. I'll go in tomorrow. A year later, you're still there. So I was like, that's a sign. I'm going to pack it in now. And if I walk out, he'll not take me back. He still wanted to take me back. He still offered me a job, so I had that awkward phone call. Like, I've made my mind up. But like, yeah, mate, it was just like, that's not me. I've never done that. I've worked in some bad jobs. I've never walked out. But mate, it was just for me, it was a statement. It was, my mind's made up. That's it, done. I'm committing everything to boxing, and if it goes tits up, it goes tits up. But that's a pretty damn good start. So let's keep that going. So.
That's class.
That's pretty much how yesterday went. Shit, I know, unbelievable.
I got some goal.
Unbelievable. No, but honestly, it's all been a proud moment. It really has, and I know it's not necessarily my coaching, but winning that belt there was proud. It was a proud moment for me, because you were all there. And to be able to sort of get a photo with you.
Yeah.
And not even get a photo, but
it was class, cause
obviously there's a photo there to prove it, but to share it with you, to bring it out and have all yous congratulate me and be like, feel like you can see what's possible. Like, it's not like, it was not a massive stretch to win it. If I can do it, why can't?
Well, it's first step of leadership, so lead by example.
Exactly, mate. So that's what I believe. Like, if I can, fuck me, there's much better boxers out there than me. If I can do it, why can't every single one of yous? Like, so that was a proud moment, sort of leading by example that way. That was another proud.
It was a good experience going to that fight as well.
Yeah, it was a good night.
I'd heard from a few boys, like, even when I was in getting my haircut with Mort, he was like, oh, when you go to Leon's fights, like, they're loud and they're loud. You know what I mean? And then I actually got the experience of it. Your family are good.
They're fucking nuts. They
are.
I must say, there's no support better, mate.
Yeah, there's no
support better. It's like, I think 40 or 50 there. Like, it was, they're passionate. Like, they're passionate fans. No matter what I do or any member of family does, they're out and all guns blazing. It's great. Yeah. It's great. Makes my life a lot easier when I know of everybody out there supporting me as well.
And then I got talking to Lennox there.
Yes.
And he said Lennox about the belt.
Yes.
And that was the icing on the cake. I didn't know. I don't think any of the boys knew about that.
No, I didn't tell anybody that, because for me, it was, I didn't want to make it about that. For me, I had a job at hand. I had to win the fight. I promised to my dad. It was in the back of my mind, right? So funnily enough, it was because of jiu-jitsu. My dad was a big advocate for this jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah.
And I never, like, when I started boxing and all, I was like, Dad, this is nonsense. There's 12-year-old kids in my boxing club that would go down and beat the life out of that sensei, and I promise you that now. He's like, no, they wouldn't and all that. I was like, Dad, they would, I'm telling you. And he was like, Leon, would you go back and get your black belt, son? Like, I'm 1 belt away. And I was like, Dad, I'll tell you what, I'll get a belt in boxing or MMA. I promise you. This was when he was ill, on his deathbed. I was like, I'll get a belt in boxing or MMA. And then, of course, the opportunity arose to fight for a belt, and I didn't tell no one because I didn't really, as I said, I didn't want it to be about that. I wanted it to be just another fight. And then when I won it, then and I knew what it meant, and then I told everybody what it meant. So that was another proud moment. But again, that's not really coaching, but that was certainly a proud moment for sure. A really, really proud moment. I mean,
it gave me goosebumps whenever he said it. I was like, whoa.
It was a beautiful moment. Beautiful moment. Really, really nice.
And again, all the family was there, and you got
it was special, mate. It was special.
That's a cracking night, like.
It was indeed, bro.
And then all scraps kicked off.
So I know, right after my fight, and Lennox comes out thinking I'm fighting. I'm like, I'm just out of the ring.
I know, I could see them. And
I
it was all
walk out of the ring with the gloves on, straight into the car park.
You wanted that fourth round?
Yeah, that fourth round.
No, it was I could see it because like everyone is, anytime that kicks off, you see like one person like scurry out of the room, like go towards the drama. Yeah. And then I seen a few. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake!
Normally a woman, to be fair.
And me and Austin turned around to each other. It's like, right, sit here. They'll be back in a few minutes. We actually just sat there, and then I could see. I think it was I seen Lennox, and then. As I don't know your family, it could have been your mum, could have been your aunties.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Where's Leon? Where's Leon?" And I was just looking, I was like, he's probably just getting changed. What do you think? And Lennox, to be fair, I don't think he is thinking anything until they said his ear, and then he's like, "Oh fuck, where is he?"
Yeah, off he went then.
And I was like, "Leon will not be fighting."
No way. My fight was done for me. I'd waited 4 hours. 11:30 or something to have a fight. My fighting was done, and I was in the change room speaking to my opponent, actually, the mixed stallion. So me and him were having a good conversation about the fight and how it went and whatnot, and gentleman he was, to be fair. Gentleman he was. Gracious in defeat.
Yeah, fair play on that. Like,
always a good trait. Yeah, absolutely.
But not bad.
Not bad at all.
Have you found your first podcast?
Mate, I must say, I was nervous. That's what I said. As soon as I came in, I said, mate, I'm more nervous for this than I was 2 weeks ago, fighting for a belt, like I was, but...
You forget the conversation.
Mate, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. It's been nice.
It's just a conversation. That's the beauty of it. Like,
you're an easy man to talk to. It's as simple as that. I couldn't sit here and do a podcast with some dick. You know what I mean? But me and you, we have shared many a one-to-ones, whether it's through boxing but then again, that's where I'm comfortable as well. Like I'm sort of a bit of a different person. If I step into the boxing gym, like I could talk to anybody, but whereas outside I'd be sort of a lot quieter. So I was like, this is taking me a bit out of my comfort zone, and
that's the beauty of it.
But it was again,
that's the beauty of it.
Signs, mate. I believe in signs. I made that big leap yesterday, and then I left my job. I made the leap to go full time in boxing coaching, and then you asked me to go on a podcast the same day. I'm like, that's just step, just moving up. So I was like, you know what? You've made the leap to go full-time boxing coaching, why not make the leap and do your first fucking podcast? And I tell you, mate, I was nervous coming down here. I was, mate. I was.
Hopefully I get
I'm not a public speaker, like. Even karaoke, mate. Keep that shit away from me.
A few drinks.
No. I was in Benidorm there, and we were in a karaoke bar every night, and I was at the pool table at the back, mate. Not for me. I know it. Yeah, 100%.
But nah, hopefully I get plenty out of it. Like, as I say, I'll be going up on YouTube, on Spotify, but then I'll be trimming clips and firing them on Instagram. So
excellent.
It gets you. I feel as though podcasts are great network for people who feel like they spoke to you before. 100%,
yeah.
You know what I mean? I can walk past someone on the street here who listens to this podcast, and they're like, "Oh, there's Luke," and I was like, they can talk to me now.
Absolutely. Like Joe Rogan, everybody in the world knows Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like everybody knows his dog's name. Everybody knows his wife's name. Everybody knows his business.
Yeah.
That's another thing I was a bit worried about. I was like, I'm quite a private guy, but what about my business? But you know what? Fuck it. You know what it is.
It's just talking shite. We've just talked shite for probably about an hour and a half. So.
And it's been a pleasure, mate.
Yeah,
it's been a real pleasure. Thank you for having me.
No, thanks for coming on.
That's been good shit.
Happy days.
Good man, bro.